Hey everybody, good morning to you from the Sunnyvale Reject here in West Palm Beach. Early Sunday morning. It's still dark. It's probably a little after 6. I woke up at about 5 o'clock this morning and I had to finish this book. Resurrection Dreams by Richard Laymon. I cannot get enough of this book. I loved every second of it. This is high octane. I'm talking very serious, dark, deep, violent horror fiction. It was published in 1988, and when Laymon published this, it was his 13th standalone novel, and by the time he published it, he had perfected his formula, and his formula seems to be high octane, no BS, not detail-laden horror fiction. And when I say not detail-laden, you're going to get the grisly crunch of bones breaking. You're going to get the wet sheet ripping sound of a scalp being pulled off of a skull. But when they go to a restaurant or they're in a car or in a house, you're not going to know what color the walls are. You're not going to know anything about the carpet or the design or the engine in the car or the color. You're not going to get any of that. He doesn't waste his time with that. And in the beginning, you might question it. He sets scene properly, but you may question, the amount of details given. But as the story progresses, you let it go because it doesn't really matter, because you're turning pages and wondering what the hell's going to happen next. You're wondering that too much to worry about the color of the walls. Now, you've got 6 primary characters. You've got Vicky, Patricia, Ace, Charlie, Melvin, who else? Did I forget anybody? And Jack. Vicky's the protagonist. Her best friend is Ace. Jack is the love interest. Charlie's the doctor that Vicky works for. Melvin is the psychotic lunatic that the book revolves around. All right? So check this out. You know about the violent crash. After the crash, Melvin tries to revive the girl that died in the crash. All right? In the beginning, there's a fiery car crash. 2 kids are in the car. They find the guy driving mangled and charred behind the wheel. The girl that was in the passenger seat, they find her later, decapitated with something in her mouth. And what's in her mouth is truly disturbing, and that is why they think the kids were fooling around in the car and not paying attention when it hit the bridge and burst into flames. Now that was bad enough, right? But not too long after that, Melvin, our local lunatic, he digs up the girl's body and tries to revive her at a science fair in front of everybody with a battery and some jumper cables. It doesn't work. Luckily, at the time, it doesn't work because he was missing a component. But they send his ass off to an institution anyway. Okay, let me get a sippy of my water. Time goes on, right? Vicky's about the only person who left the town. Vicky left. Melvin was locked away. But Vicky's lonely. She's had some failed relationships, and she wants to go home. She's got a friend there named Ace who she thinks she can stay with, and she thinks she can get a job, at the local hospital or clinic there with Charlie. He's helped her out in the past, helped her through medical school, loaned her money, and so she thinks she can go back there and work for him. So she does. She goes back to Ellsworth, which is the town that she's from. Melvin sees her and they have an interaction. Now, Melvin has always had a thing for Vicky because she didn't mistreat him. She didn't alienate him and make fun of him and look down on him like everybody else did. We all know that kid, right? Growing up with that kid, and we're all lucky that we got marked off of that list or we're not on that list to begin with. I, for one, remember the kid, remember the time when I apologized for everything and got marked off of that list. So I'm very grateful. But, Melvin owns a shop there. He sees a lot of people. He's achieved some sense of normalcy, but he still harbors this deep, weird affection for Vicky, right? So he tries to win her over, and he thinks he can. But, he tries to give her a car. She says no. I don't want to spoil this for you, but let's just say somehow Melvin convinces the doctor to make Vicky a partner and do away with the money that she owes him. And so that's very nice. So you see him doing these nice things. She's constantly saying no. She doesn't know about the clinic until later on. But we as readers, we see what's going on behind the scenes. He's trying to win her over. And when that doesn't work, his methods get more and more sinister. Right? So you have some action taking place. There's some crimes committed. They think that Vicky thinks that Melvin, because of something he said in a restaurant, indicates him as the number one suspect for the murder of an ex-chief, right? Well, Vicky wants to prove this, but nobody's listening to her. Nobody believes it. Yes, Melvin's a lunatic, but he's not that crazy, is he? Well, so she says, hey, Melvin, I'm sorry about not taking the car. What a great gesture. Let's meet up. Let's have some food and some drinks. It's on me. So she kind of leads him on a little bit because she wants him to admit that he killed this person or had something to do with it at least. And she even hints at when they're together at the restaurant, she hints that she would be very proud and that she's attracted to him in a sense because he did this for her, but he's scared to admit it there. So he says, hey, let's go somewhere and talk. I can't do this here. Let's get out of here, you know. So she goes, not right now. I have to meet somebody later on, a patient, in fact, that's about to have a baby. So I got to be, you know, by the phone. I got to go home because I'm on call. No problem. Sure thing. We'll get together in a few days, right? Okay, so she leaves. Melvin follows her. She doesn't go home. She goes somewhere else, and he sees her in the arms of another man, Jack. Jack. And he's jealous as all hell, and he starts to plot and scheme. And this is where I don't want to spoil anything, but let's just say he goes after the people that Vicky loves because he really wants her to suffer. And he calls her every horrible name in the book because he feels like he's been betrayed and he's possessive and he feels like she's mine and she can't be with anybody else. Okay, I'm going to slow down. Maybe I should read this book again. I had so much fun with it, and I bet you're going to have fun with it too. I left out some very, very disturbing, tragic, scary scenes because I do not want to spoil this for you, and you're going to thank me later. Again, disturbing, high-octane, scary-ass, black magic horror fiction. If you're into that kind of thing, give Richard Laymon's Resurrection Dreams a chance. Have a great day.